my new obsession with Doctor Strange and his older stuff. So $5 Silver Age Doctor Strange. You don't have to ask me twice. So here's Doctor Strange 170. So I look forward to cracking these open and seeing how awesome they are. It's 174. And then 177, all those once again are $5. Artist was actually really, I'm sorry, the vendor was actually pretty close to the door selling these for $5. So I'm surprised deep into Saturday afternoon I was able to snag these up. I'm kind of, the only thing that kept driving me crazy, I was like, man, I bet when that show opened Friday or before when the exhibitors were shopping each other, they had some awesome stuff for $5 because there was a lot. I could have splurged bad over there. Let's just say that. Next up, speaking of splurging, I did splurge on myself a little bit when it came to Doctor Strange. I've been looking for the Marvel Premiere Run for a little bit. I got some off the Lords of the Long Box auction. So I got that number 3 for a pretty solid price already. And then I got, I think, a number 10. And a 13, but I didn't have 4 through 9. I found a vendor there. They had some pretty clean copies for the most part. I'm just kind of looking them over one more time. They don't. They're in pretty decent shape for as old as they are. Luckily, I was able to make a deal with them. Maybe I paid more than I wanted to. They were basically $12 a book by the time it was all said and done. So. I think it's $75 for like all of this. So not bad, not great though in my opinion. But anyway, Marvel Premiere number 4. Once again, this whole run's Doctor Strange, and then there's number 5. And luckily he knocked about $5 to $10 off the prices he had on them. He really didn't want to either, but it was Sunday, so I think he was willing to negotiate with me a little bit. Then there's 7. And I think the only ones he was kind of firm on were the last couple because the Frank Bruner stuff, which everybody at this point loves. So like this one, he's just like, yep, that's 15. Not asking any less on that. Now I tried to haggle him down, but he wouldn't, which I can't blame him. They're very nice books. Actually, I think I got this from the booth. I got Captain Marvel 3. I think it was like $6, something like that. So once again, fullback Mylar. Can't beat that. And look at that awesome Frank Bruner. I mean, come on. That's awesome. So glad to have those nonetheless. This is also from that $5 silver Bronze Age booth. Ghost number 5 from DC. So I just thought that was a really cool cover. I sometimes like to get these nice horror books, even though I have no context in terms of value or if they're key or not key or anything. I think they just look cool, and usually the art inside is second to none in these older ones. So look forward to reading that. Next up, found a couple, basically a couple image number 1s that were like $3 a piece. I thought they were going to be a little cheaper, but they had some confusing pricings on their bins, but it's still cheaper than cover price, so I can't complain. I got Squires number 1, which for some reason I forgot to get this signed. Ashley Witter was in attendance, but I'll probably see her again at Cincinnati. She's been going to that the last few years. So I heard from Silver Aged Dave that this is a pretty good title. So I figured I'd at least check out the first issue, see what it was all about for $3. Figure I may as well just go ahead and grab it. And then I was talking up Sia Alm's art in the previous video. And I think I have like a con variant of this, but I think it might have been for like another volume of this. But I got Lola XOXO number 1. So I absolutely love that. I did have this cover anyway, so I didn't mind picking this up for $3. So hopefully she goes to Cincinnati again. I can maybe get a signature on this one day, but I definitely want to start picking up more of her work because everything I've seen from her is awesome. Yeah, this was $3. I didn't have it already. It's the conclusion to Carnage storyline. It's Amazing 363. Just always kind of like that cover, to say the least. So I think I just need parts 1 and 3 now. So we'll see how that goes. And I couldn't pass up an NYX for I said $3. So this is number 6 of 7. I think I have everything but now 5 and 7. So usually, I don't even know if X23 is in this particular issue, but these NYXs keep going up in price. So for $3, I figured I'd go ahead and snag one. And I believe I heard this is the first appearance of Amanda Waller, so I figured for $5, why not get this Legends number 1? I've seen this in a lot of people's hauls video lately. I think they usually find it at dollar bins, but I don't have that type of luck when it comes to dollar bins sometimes. So it's like, $5, I'll get it. And if I find a dollar bin later, I'll get it too. And maybe put that in a contest downline or give it to somebody, because usually I don't sell too many of my doubles. I just give them away. Found this Catwoman 53 for $5. Couldn't pass up an Adam Hughes Catwoman for $5 or less. I think this is probably the first one he did. I know this is the start of the 1 year later storyline out of Infinite Crisis. So I think this is about the first, or at least one of the first 5 he did. So I was happy to have that. And the last one I picked up from that vendor. Clean copy of a Uncanny X-Men 148, $5. I just wanted to get an older X-Men, and I thought this one looked cool. It's got Spider-Woman, Dazzler, Storm, and Kitty Pryde on the cover. So I'm like, that's a pretty awesome sounding book, so I'll go ahead and get that. And then actually I did forget to show this hardcover. Apparently this is a C2e2 image booth very as well. It's a trade for God Country, or I should say hardcover. I've been wanting to read God Country for a little while. I have like sporadic issues because I think I got the image blind box version of issue 1. So I decided to get the hardcover because everything I've read Donny Cates is really good. So I wanted to make sure I got on the Donny Cates bandwagon, if you will, I guess. And yeah, I decided to get that. So on to my signatures. Oh, there's a program for what that's worth. I didn't even crack it open once because we live in the app world now. So on to my signatures. This is my Jock hardcover, so I wanted to make sure this is probably the biggest item I took to get signed that I actually successfully got signed. So I was like, if I'm going to haul this around on a train ride all day, it's getting signed somehow. I don't care if I got to pay for it. And luckily I didn't. Jock is really nice and awesome, so if you guys ever get a chance to meet him, go for it. He was probably my favorite my second favorite interaction I had the whole convention besides Tool Lotte. Which he's also a Mondo artist too, I guess. Sorry. But yeah, if you guys get a chance, if you don't know who Jock is, like, come on, check out his work. Go buy, you know, that Scott Snyder run he did together with him. But anyway, I'll just get to the nice thing he did for me. He signed and put a nice little Batman sketch in my hardcover there. So he wasn't doing any type of sketching for anybody. So I guess he really appreciates his fans for buying his art book. So I guess he made the exception for me. And my friend had the art book too, and he pretty much got the same thing put in his. But I thought that was a nice little gesture. Obviously, it's not like the coolest thing in the world. But, you know, it's something he didn't have to do at all, and he did anyway. So very appreciative of that. So thank you, Jock. And then I got pretty much 75% of a short box of signatures, so I was blow through these super quick. Met Sean Gordon Murphy at the DC booth. He signed a couple books for me. Definitely had to get White Knight signed. Awesome book. I can't say enough about it. And then the run he did with Scott Snyder. Find a trade of this. It's definitely worth a read, especially the hat. At least try to stay on until the halfway point. I got a little bit bored of it. But after issue 5, there's a twist that happens. I won't spoil that twist, but it hooked me for the entire rest of it, and it was very memorable for me after that. Unfortunately, I was not able to meet Brian Michael Bendis, but David Mack was there, kind of just hanging out. So I at least got one signature out of 2 on my Alias #1. So he was talking up how he redid the credits for that Jessica Jones season 2. So I thought that was pretty cool and nifty to know. And then I met the writer Priest as well, who's been in the business for a while, obviously. So a lot of people has Justice League run that's newer. But I wanted to take a book from my childhood, so I took I think this is the first issue of Steel he worked on. So he was very excited to see someone actually brought out a Steel for him to sign. When I presented this to him, he kind of acted like, you know, almost the entire con went by, no one had Steel, so we immediately had like a 3-minute conversation about Steel, and I was telling him, you know, the story about how, you know, me and my brother would kind of compete over who could get their name on the mail that would come. Like, we had this as a subscription. This is the first comic book I ever subscribed and collected, was probably Steel, or probably timed Superboy. But I was like, yeah, I want my name on Steel and Superboy, and you can have your name on Man of Steel and, you know, Action Comics, what have you. So he got a kick out of that, of course. And he signed my Justice Leagues I brought as well. And then I didn't get the con variant, but I bought the regular cover at my LCS. He actually personalized this to me, so I thought that was really nice of him to do. Once again, he didn't have to do that, but he did anyway. Took the extra time, and he was probably like one of the very first people I've ever met at a con who will he'll ask you your name when you walk up. He'll introduce himself like, you know, you're just meeting him, just, you know, as an average Joe. So super nice guy. And then also I got this by Marco Santucci. Yeah, it's somewhere down there in the skulls. I don't know if that comes up well on my camera, but I'll get more on him in a second. Sorry, I got books going anywhere. All right, so back to Jock. Another funny story about Jock. Apparently, I guess there was a limit for his signing. I had no idea until the guy behind me, I saw him coming out of line. And I was just, kept running into this guy all convention and just kind of, we were chatting each other up here and there. Apparently, it was like limit 3 or something from Jock. I had no idea. If I knew that, I would have been respectful of the line and did my 3. I took 5. But I guess since I brought his art book and was chatting him up, he didn't even say anything to me. He just signed everything and, thanked me for buying his sketchbook before I could even say anything to him. So I got Gideon Falls signed, the cover he did for that. The 2 Detective Comics, unfortunately I'm missing the 2 key issues of this run, but I do have the hardcover already signed by him, so no biggie on my end. And then, like I said, his best cover, in my opinion, All-Star Batman #1. And then I'm going to butcher his name. I apologize. Joe Canoes. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not it at all, I know. But the guy who does the covers for America, and he does other awesome covers. Got these 2 signed by him. I really like his series of America covers. So definitely seek out his stuff. Wish he had some more art books. I would have bought a print from him, but Saturday I rode the train. I didn't want to bend up a print on the train. So unfortunately, I did not get anything from him. I wish I did, though. He had some very nice stuff. Once again, I got some stuff signed by Marco Santucci at the DC booth. It's kind of just seems like he's a fill-in artist for DC right now. Hopefully he finds some good work, because he's kind of flipping through his stuff. I've recently discovered that his work, he's got some nice stuff out there, so hopefully he takes off and gets a book of his own soon. But he signed that Wonder Woman 43 for me as well. And then he is also artist on X Factor. He filled in back in the day that awesome Peter David X Factor run as well. So actually I do have these signed by pretty much most of the creative team now. Peter David, Valentin Delandro, and David Yarden. So now I got 4 signatures on these X Factors. And why I brought up Marco Santucci, he was actually doing free sketches at the DC booth. Unfortunately, it was the day I decided to leave my sketchbook in my car. It was that Saturday. I didn't want to take it on the train. And of course, I bumped into a free sketch. So luckily I didn't leave C2e2 completely empty-handed. I got a couple sketches, and this was the other one, so I'll have to find a spot on my wall for that. Thought that was really nice of him. And I also got John Timms to sign some Harley Quinns for me. Definitely at least want to get this one signed. It's my favorite of the Amanda Conner covers. And then I really like this, the Power Girl stuff they did in that book too. And then there's that C2e2 variant from the past. Sorry, I'm trying to go as fast as I can. Oh my god, I'm sorry. 30 minutes. Got Ryan Brown to sign my Image Blind Box variant of Curse Words #1, the Virgin variant. So he liked chatting up about the Image Blind Box and all the insanity that went into making that and all that stuff. So I was talking about earlier, I went to the Young Guns Marvel signing, so I got my Captain Marvel signed by Mike Del Mundo there. And also Jason Aaron was in attendance, so he signed this for me. So I really like the lenticular variant of that, even though those get a lot of flack. Aaron Cuter signed the inside of my Superman 23.4, The Parasite. This is the first book he ever wrote and drew on his own, so I thought this was probably the best of the Villains Month stuff. So I definitely let him know about that. He appreciated that. Marco Cacchetto did this second print variant of Old Man Hawkeye. He just put a signature down there for me. Unfortunately, I couldn't track down a first printing at my local shop, so I settled for the only copy of the second printing they had. So I was like, hey, why not? I wanted to get something signed by him. And then actually, right before I went to the con, I found out this was in my collection. I think I got it in some sort of blind box. He signed it right next to Wicket there. So thought that was cool. Got Javier Garron to sign the Young Guns variant of Doctor Strange. So definitely want to get that signed by him. And then Pepe Larez did the Avengers. I think this is No Surrender Part 1 or Avengers 675. Clayman was in attendance as well, so I got him to sign Gambit 1. We got Mike Brooks to sign my Ant-Man 1. I meant to get this signed, but I was kind of in a hurry because he's getting ready to leave his table. He's like, hey, man, you got books to sign? I'm like, well, okay. He's like, I'll sign 3 of them. So, luckily, unfortunately, I get that signed, but I had this in my hand, too. So, there's that. And Cable and Deadpool. Apparently, this goes for something. I guess it would because the movie's coming out, but I didn't realize this book had some value behind it. But yeah, apparently, it does. So, someone kind of said that, like, wow, how much you pay for that book? I'm like, I paid $2.99. And they're like, wow, really? Like, so there's that. And 588 Fantastic Four. If you guys haven't read this issue, find it, check it out. The epilogue he did is amazing. He said he actually teared up while drawing it. It's when Johnny Storm passed away, and there's a conversation between Franklin Richards and Peter Parker that is just, you might tear up reading this too. It's just so emotional toward the end, because basically the epilogue's called Uncles, and you know, it's just they're comparing stories between Uncle Johnny, Johnny Storm, and Uncle Ben. So it's something I kind of didn't think about till, you know, the end of the story. I'm like, wow, that's pretty awesome. And then I got the Clayman thumbprint of approval on my Clayman signature on this. I've heard in the past, you know, he'll sign with like a different markers and actually thumbprint. And I actually got a thumbprint from him. So, what it is, what it is. But I always liked this. I told him Age of X. I thought it was an underrated X-Men story. And he agreed with me, actually. So, check out Age of X if you guys see a cheap hardcover, because it is cheap. Got Tom King to sign my Batman 1 variant. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go through Tim Sale's line because he was in, once again, aisle B, which is crammed. Or maybe he's in C, but he was near one of the really busy aisles, and I wasn't going to bother him because he had a line. And then I got the regular Rebirth cover signed by him as well. Ken Lashley's in attendance. Actually, I forgot to get this signed by Mike Perkins, but I got plenty signed by him, so it's no big deal. The Black Panther Annual, decided to get a Ken Lashley signature on that. And then a couple Excalibur books that are 90s-ified, so I love these holofoil cards and covers and stuff. And then I have an Andy Kubert Flash Fast Man Alive. I decided to get a second signature from Ken Lashley on that. And Andy Kubert signed it previously. He was not in attendance at C2e2. Tula Lote. Sorry. Like I said, groggy from this. I got con sickness, I guess. Tula Lote signed these two books for me. So, All-Star Batman 7. Good read if you guys haven't checked it out. Probably my favorite individual issue of the All-Star run that Scott Snyder did. And then I happen to have this Red Sonja variant cover from her, so I decided to have her sign that too. Deadpools. Got some Deadpools that Brian Posehn did with Jerry Duggan. Got them signed by Jerry Duggan at this convention. I had them previously signed by Tony Moore and Brian Posehn. He was in attendance a couple years ago, surprisingly, and signing for free. This is my Chris Bachalo variant, so I definitely wanted to make sure I got this one signed if I only got one book signed by him, because the whole creative team was pretty much signed that at that point. Had the regular copy of Analog when I first met Jerry Duggan, so decided to get that signed because I bought it at my local shop, read it, loved it. So once again, there's more Deadpools. Got to take everything out at this point and hopefully not destroy everything. Philip Tan signed some Green Lanterns. Chris Anka was in attendance. Got some signatures from him. Sorry, I'm just going to start blowing through everything because I know you guys are tired of hearing me rant. Spider-Gwen, Jason Latour. Actually, I did want to highlight this one because Latour did put a little personalized Spider-Gwen like he always does. And holy crap, my camera sucks. I'm sorry. You cannot see that. There it is. Awesome. Did want to highlight this. J. Scott Campbell cover again. Awesome. Cost a lot. Happy to have it. Thumbprint of approval from Philip Tan. I hate gold markers. There's that. Well, I was going to make a crack about Spidey fan almost killing Jim Starlin with one of these crazy gold ink markers, but I won't because I did just now, so there's that. Just use the silver or black, please, next time, artist. Thank you. Let's get Philip Tan. He loved that I had that. Regular edition, didn't get the con variant. Actually met Alan Davis and Mark Farmer. Like I said, they're the first destination I went to. Oh yeah, one thing, I love staying positive on this channel, but I do have some negatives sometimes. If you're an exhibitor and you're at a show, can you please let the paying fans go through first and get the art before you guys crowd up Artist Alley and make it so, you know, the first person is 5 deep in line for a sketch as soon as they walk in the show. So basically, some of us in line had hopes to get something from Alan Davis, because he's probably never going to make it over this side again, because, you know, he's an older gentleman. He has to fly all the way from the other side of the pond from here, and the first thing, you know, me and a couple other guys run over there, and who's in line? Like 4 exhibitors from the exhibitor alley. I'm like, come on. But I guess it is what it is. I got some prison signatures. I think this is the first Wonder Woman cover she did. I could be wrong, so that was cool. Anyway, I had to get that signed. Phoenix Resurrection signed. Prison 25. Wonder Woman, favorite cover she did. Told her that she loved it. She agrees. Signed. Want the Duck variant. Decided to get that signed because I thought it was funny. Jim Bartell did this awesome Good and Pull 25. Signed. Wolverine 28. My goodness. Piles are getting high here. Harley and Ivy, Betty and Veronica, Jim Bartell variant, awesome variant, signed. Not signed. Don't know how that got left in. Thumbprint. Okay, I think. My goodness, I think we're done. Maybe. Whew. Oh yeah, I did want to highlight. Oh, call me. God, I'm so sorry. 37 minutes. What was I thinking? I did want to highlight this book, Ultimate Spider-Man 100 Project. I think Hero Initiative released this in 2007. I think Alan Davis signing this was my 30th signature in this book. So I love getting these and taking them to conventions because usually, you know, if it's a 100 project, that usually means there's 100 different artists that worked on this book. And the book's only this big, so it's extremely light. So if you don't want to carry around a lot of crap like I do, by the way, my back's feeling fine. Thanks for asking. This is like a good little thing you can take to conventions, and usually the Hero Initiative artists that support the Hero Initiative go to a lot of these cons. So this is kind of just a cool book if you didn't want to have just like a plain blank book of nothingness signed like I've seen some people do. So I recommend these types. This is the first one of these they released, so that's why I stick to this one. I could do like 5 of them, but I don't want to go into that much work. Other than that, I think we're finally done.